Hello everyone, this is Minty Fries, and today I wanted to show you how I made these really cool 3D printed food figurines based on recipes from the first 3 Paper Mario games. If you've played those games, you know all about the recipe mechanic where you collect ingredients from all over the game world and then get one of the chefs from each game to cook it into something tasty and restorative for you. I wanted to make something Paper Mario related to commemorate the announcement, or rather leaked possibility, that there may be a new Paper Mario game coming out. So here we go. First off, to determine which recipes I was going to create, I actually ran a poll in a Paper Mario group to see which ones everyone most wanted to be turned into 3D printable models. And the poll had 20 of my favorite recipes from all 3 games. So with the help of the community, I narrowed it down to the 10 best ones. So these are the recipes we're going to be crafting today. I will start modeling them really quick and then we'll get them all printed and painted. I should note as I start working on these that some of them aren't really going to look like much. But don't worry about that, I'm not designing these to look good as 3D models, I'm designing them to be functional 3D prints. So I'm not putting in as much work as I normally would to make them look pretty. Remember that they are going to print at like half the resolution you're seeing here, so the finer details don't really matter in the grand scheme of things when it comes to 3D printing. Plus, it's kind of difficult to turn beautiful, stylized 2D artwork like these recipes into 3D models. If you don't believe me, look at Super Mario World, and then look at Mario 64. One of these graphics is much more likely to make you want to vomit in your mouth than it ain't Mario World, if you catch my drift. But new Paper Mario. The rumor come out. Does Paper Mario is new game? I can hardly believe it. When Alpha Dream, the makers of Mario and Luigi, went under, I thought that might be the death knell for Paper Mario as well. A sign that Nintendo was tired of producing RPG versions of their IPs. The mere fact that we can't seem to get Geno or Paper Mario as Smash fighters supports this idea. But I really hope the rumor is true. Moreover, I hope that they are going to actually listen to the community and make a game in the style of the first 3. You know, a Paper Mario with partners, unique NPCs, strong story elements, memorable locales, badges, leveling up, brand new races of characters like the Twilighters, Crawl, and Wizards, a great hub world with tons of ever-changing scripted events and new content each time you visit it. That kind of stuff. And while I love the music of Sticker Star and Color Splash, the jazz themes are a bit tired at this point. It's nice to have realistic instruments used in the score, but I think a Paper Mario soundtrack should be a bit more electronic. A sequel to Mario Sunshine should most definitely have a soundtrack with realistic instruments, but Paper Mario should be a little more chippy. In any case, there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said by greater YouTubers than myself. If you are watching this video, you are probably just as avid a fan of the series as I am. The Thousand Year Door is my all-time favorite game, and I am just itching for a new game in that style. But above all, we need to bring back the recipe system. While it's a nightmare for completionists, I have so much fun romping around the map, collecting unique ingredients and taking them to a snarky chef to turn into a beautiful and delectable-looking recipe that restores hearts and flower points. Or, explodes. It's just so much fun to find all the new recipes in each game and even to use a walkthrough to methodically discover each one. And the joy you feel when you find the recipe book that allows you to combine ingredients and make a whole new class of recipes. So good, man. It reminds me of a time I once trained at Hell's Kitchen to become a world-class top chef, but I confused Gordon Ramsay with Simon Cowell, who incidentally knows very little about cookery. So I only ended up learning how to make toast. And to sing. No, I'm not going to sing for you. So here are all of the recipes. I say again, some of them might not look like much, but they should print okay. These were actually a lot of fun to work on, and I might make some more and do another video about it later. So here we go with the printing, and I'm going to start painting them in a sec, but for the 2 recipes that have glass dishes here, I printed the glass parts separately from the food parts, as you can see here. I'm going to make a sheet plastic mold container and then mix up some silicone and hot glue the 2 pieces into the mold and then pour in the silicone. After the silicon cured, I tried to extract the 2 pieces, but as you can see I had a bit of trouble retrieving the dish for the mango pudding and ripped the mold. That shouldn't matter though, because silicon will generally spring back to the shape in which it was molded, so it should form a pretty decent seal and keep the resin from leaking. And it would actually make it easier to retrieve the resin copy after that cures. So I mixed up some resin and poured it into the 2 holes here. I had to make extra sure to hit the resin with a heat gun and jostle the mold in order to get all of the bubbles out. And here we go with popping out the resin copies, and I think they turned out pretty decent. They'll look even better when I cover them with a coat of sealant. Moving on with the painting, I first covered each piece in a primer layer, and then started painting on some details. This process didn't take so long since I made the pieces so small. I think if I did this again I'd print them at a larger size because they are a bit too miniature as they are now. After the painting I sealed them in some polyacrylic and then glued in the zest dynamite and the mango pudding pieces, and here they are. I also printed out the 4 chefs from the first 3 games and glued it to some watercolor paper, and then used my Cry-Cut die cutter to cut out these little paper figurines. And look at this, it's a tiny bit of resin that I spilled onto the mold you saw previously, but kind of looks like a little contact lens. Here you go, Zesty. I found your contact lens. There you go. Shh, it's okay. We're here for you, Zesty. Well, I like the way these turned out, and it really makes me want to fire up some 1000-year door and stomp on some contact lenses. But now, I don't want to startle any of you, but I got a little bit crazy, and I actually cooked the Zest special dish, in real life, and it turned out beautifully. So if you want to see how I made this beautiful potatoey dish based on the Zest special recipe from the 1000-year door, please join me in my next video. What do you think about these recipes, Tasty?
I think it shows great potential.
Oh, thanks, Tasty. You know, I really appreciate that kind of constructive criticism. And what about you, Zesty?
It's not very good. I think it needs some balsamic dressing poured from a contact lens.
And what do you think, Saffron?
I think they're delicious.
Oh, thanks. And what about you, Dillis?
What is this? This is not borscht with vodka. You have failed me. Get back in the kitchen and try again. Do it now!
Anyway, enough of that weirdness. Thanks for joining me.